Growth doesn't stop because God withholds. It stops when your tolerance runs out. Let's start by deconstructing a myth that has served as a cushion for many people's spiritual mediocrity, the idea that you are waiting on God. The idea that the heavens are closed, that revelation has dried up, or that there is some divine mystery as to why you have been stagnant at the same level of maturity for 5 or 10 years. This is a comfortable lie. God is an inexhaustible source. The ocean doesn't stop having water just because your cup is small. The problem has never been the supply. The problem is the capacity of the vessel. And that capacity is not defined by your intellect, nor by the books you've read. It is defined by your tolerance for pain. We live under what I call the tolerance ceiling. It is a glass ceiling. It is invisible. You look up and see the sky. You see where you could be. You see the depth others have reached. But when you try to rise, you hit your head. And you hit your head not because God placed a barrier there, but because you reached your personal limit for enduring the truth. Everyone says they want the truth. It's a beautiful phrase to put on Instagram. I seek the truth at all costs. Do you really? Human reality is quite different. We love abstract truth, but we hate the truth that demands a structural change in who we are. Everyone says they want the truth until the truth demands the death of a favorite opinion. Think about it. How many times have you asked God for direction, and when that direction came, it contradicted your political ideology, your wounded pride, or that pet victimhood you've been carrying for years? What happens in that moment? Do you embrace the truth? Usually not. You retreat, you rationalize, you lower the ceiling. Most people, unfortunately, are not looking for real growth. They are looking for decoration. Pay attention to the difference. Decoration is taking what already exists and making it more pleasant. But the gospel is not about decoration. The gospel is about demolition and reconstruction. God doesn't want to decorate your old life. He wants to exchange it for a new one. And there can be no resurrection without a death happening first. And dying hurts. Losing control hurts. Admitting that your favorite opinion is actually an idol hurts deeply. This is where the majority stops. We want the comfort of salvation without the discomfort of transformation. I want you to look at your trajectory right now. Be honest. Where did you stop? What was the last moment you felt God backing you against a wall regarding a habit, a relationship, or an arrogant attitude? And what did you do? Did you yield, or did you build a ceiling right there? I'm going to be direct with you because softening this won't help you move. You stopped growing spiritually at the exact point where the truth started to hurt. It was there. It was in that sermon that offended you. It was in that advice from a friend that you rejected in anger. Your stagnation has an exact geographic coordinate. It resides on the border of your offense. As long as your need to be right is greater than your need to be transformed, you will be spiritually stunted. Growth is resistance. It is the capacity to look into the mirror of reality, see the ugliness of our own pride, and not look away until it is dealt with. What we are going to do here is not an ego massage. The goal is to shatter this glass ceiling. But to break it, you have to withstand the impact. Today, we are going to see how much weight of reality you can lift. We often treat truth as if it were a mist, a vapor, but I want you to change your perspective today. I want you to think of truth as a substance. In the physics of the spirit, truth has mass, truth has density, and most importantly, truth occupies space. This brings us to a fundamental problem. Imagine your mind is a living room. Over the last 20 or 30 years, you have furnished this room. You filled it with furniture that helped you survive. There in the corner is the heavy armchair of victimhood. You love that chair. When life gets hard, you curl up in it. Over there is the table of cynicism. You built it yourself after you got hurt the first time.
Your room is full. It is cluttered with defense mechanisms and cultural lies.
Now, you go to God and say, I want revelation. I want peace. You are asking for new furniture. You want to bring in the massive, solid table of divine identity, but you try to drag this massive truth through the door and guess what? It doesn't fit. There is no floor space. You cannot put the table of identity in the same spot where the armchair of victimhood is sitting. Two objects cannot occupy the same space at the same time. This is physics. This is why we get stuck. We think spiritual growth is addition. We want to stack the new furniture on top of the old furniture. But God is not a hoarder. God is a minimalist of the heart. He does not decorate over dirt. Before you can bring the truth in, you have to take the lie out. And this is where the pain comes from. The process of throwing out is what we interpret as suffering. Why does it hurt? Because over time, you have merged with that furniture. You have identified with your trauma so deeply that tearing it out feels like you are tearing out a piece of your own flesh. But God refuses to layer truth on top of a lie. He demands emptying. There is a fundamental difference in the physics of a lie versus the physics of truth. Lies are designed to keep you safe but small. Lies constrict. Truth, on the other hand, is vast. Truth is heavy. Truth is the size of the universe. When truth enters your mind, it pushes against the walls. It demands more capacity than you currently have. Remember this, truth is expansive. Lies are restrictive. You feel pain because you are being stretched. That pressure you feel in your chest, that mental fatigue, that is not destruction, that is stretching. If you recoil from the stretch, you return to the limp, small shape you were before. But if you endure the stretch, if you allow the truth to occupy the space it demands, you permanently increase your capacity. So the next time you feel that resistance, stop and recognize what is happening. Your neural pathways are being rewired. The old furniture is being dragged across the floor. It hurts to let it go. But look at the door. Look at what is waiting to come in. The truth is not coming in until you make room. We need to go deeper into the machinery of your mind. Why do we cling to dysfunction? The answer lies in a brutal truth about human biology. Your brain does not care about your happiness, it cares about your survival. And to your primal brain, survival equals predictability. Here is the tragedy of the human condition. Your brain would rather reside in a familiar hell than step into an unknown paradise. You might be miserable in your current state, but your brain knows this misery. It has mapped the terrain. Real growth is a venture into the unknown, and the moment you step toward that unknown, your internal alarm system screams, danger. We love the language of resurrection, but we conveniently forget the prerequisite for resurrection. There is no resurrection without a funeral. You cannot be the new you and the old you at the same time. Growth is not just acquiring new habits, it is a constant, repeated burial of who you used to be. Every level of truth you accept kills a previous version of you. When you accept the truth that you are responsible for your own emotions, the you that was a professional victim dies. And here is the hard part. You will miss them. You will mourn your old self. Even though that old self was toxic, it was you. Many people flee from growth simply because they refuse to attend the funeral of their own illusions. But realize this, old keys won't open new doors. Imagine a soldier who has spent 10 years in the trenches. He wears heavy armor. Now the war ends. He is invited into the palace, but he insists on wearing the dirty, heavy armor to the dinner table. He looks ridiculous. The very things that saved him there are destroying him here. You have coping mechanisms that saved you when you were a child, but you are not in that trench anymore. You cannot take your old defenses to your new level. They don't fit through the door. You have to strip, and stripping feels like death. But God is saying, I cannot clothe you with new power until you take off the old rags. This leads us to the most critical diagnostic tool in your spiritual life. How do you know, practically, where your ceiling is? You don't need a prophet. You just need to look at what makes you angry. We need to talk about offense.
In the physics of growth, offense is not an attack. Offense is a revelation. The exact moment you feel that tightening in your chest, that defensive thought, is the exact moment that you have hit the wall of your current maturity. Think of your spiritual capacity like a container. When a truth comes along that is bigger than your container, it strikes the rim. That friction is what we call offense. Most people retreat. They say, "That was too harsh." They view the discomfort of the truth as a signal to stop. But the invitation of maturity is, stay in the offense.
Don't run. Don't click away. Hold that feeling of anger in your hand and look at it. Ask it questions. Offense is your compass. It points magnetic north toward your idols. If you are offended when someone questions your intelligence, your intellect is your idol. If you are offended when someone doesn't thank you, your service is a transaction. The offense shows you exactly where the self is still on the throne. Instead of rebuking the person who offended you, you should thank them. They just shined a flashlight on a demon you didn't know you had. Growth happens through the offense. You have to be willing to let that fire burn up your ego. If you cannot be offended, you cannot be controlled. If you are dead to your own reputation, what can anyone do to you? Your offense doesn't protect your dignity. It protects your stagnation. We have arrived at the end. If you are listening to my voice right now, it means something significant. It means you survived the incision. For the last few minutes, we have been operating. We acknowledged the tolerance ceiling. We moved furniture. We attended a funeral, and we faced our offense. It has been a journey of subtraction. We didn't add anything to you today. We took things away. Why did it hurt? Because the truth doesn't hurt you. It only hurts the part of you that isn't real. Let that settle. Truth is water to your spirit, but it is acid to your ego. If you felt pain today, rejoice. It means the acid is working. It means the false self is dissolving. What remains after the fire is the gold. I know that by this point, most people have already left. The crowd wants bread and entertainment. They want to be told they are perfect. But this is an operating theater. This is a place for surgery. So who are you? The fact that you are still here separates you from the majority. It proves that your hunger for reality is stronger than your addiction to comfort. You are part of a remnant. You are tired of superficial spirituality. You want the meat. You want the weight. That path is lonely. It is narrow. It is uphill. But the view from the top is the only thing worth seeing. Take a breath. Feel the space that has been created in your mind today. Don't rush to fill it with noise. Sit in this emptiness. Let the truth settle in the space where your excuses used to be. You have survived the surgery. Now the real growth begins. If you are still here, it implies you are ready. Welcome to the deep end.